Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Social Shifters podcast. I am joined by the tremendous Mark, co-founder of Rice Rural Philippines, and he's here to talk to us more about one of his winning projects, AKB, of course, being one of the winners of our open competition, the Global Innovation Challenge 2023. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem, and well done. Obviously, AKB, what does AKB stand for?
Well, AKB is in Filipino language. It stands for Araw-Kalinga Box. Literally, it means solar care. It represents what the project is all about.
Amazing. I love that. Solar care represent. Okay, brilliant. How did you react when you found out you're one of the winners?
I was surprised. This is one of the biggest competitions we joined in, and I wasn't even expecting that I would get into the finals. So when I was announcing it to the team, we were all like, "Yay, we got in!" It was a very exciting moment for every one of us in the team. Yeah,
Yeah, that's incredible. You mentioned your team there, so like how many of you are in the team?
right. So there are six people on my team, and we also have over 30 volunteers working with us.
Six in the team and over 30
Mhm.
volunteers. So how did
Right. Yeah.
how did you get those volunteers? How did they become on board?
Well, we just posted like a call for volunteers poster on our social media pages, and we were just so overwhelmed by, the number of fellow young people who are also interested in our advocacies, and that's how we got them onboarded.
Mark, you're going to speak more about obviously AKB, but like, what is
Mhm.
your origin story? Like, if you're a superhero, if you're Spider-Man, you got bitten by the spider, and that's how he started out. Like, were you always an
Mhm.
entrepreneur? Like, how did you start, and how did AKB come about?
Right. Well, I am currently in college and I'm studying agricultural business management and entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship has always been like one of my interests. But it's actually an interesting story because we're working on healthcare, specifically maternal and infant healthcare. And every time I share that story, people would be like, why is like a young guy like you or like me, right, working on something related to women and children? Well, my mother is a midwife, and we had a rural maternity clinic. So growing up, I spent most of my time in our clinic, and that's how I got exposed to, the challenges that women face in our community when it comes to accessing healthcare. I mean, some women or some families are like traveling for over 3 hours just to get to our clinic.
Wow.
And my mother has always been an advocate also when it comes to like equity, when it comes to healthcare. So that's how I got interested in it. And then when I was in my sophomore year in college, I thought of starting something related to it, and invited friends if they're interested in it also. So that's how we basically started with the project.
That's an incredible origin story, Dan. I guess you obviously had a great empathy for the trials that the women were going through growing up in that kind of
Mhm.
obviously seeing the professional work your mother was doing. So how important is the issue that you're tackling? Like what's inspired you from seeing that growing up, seeing all the challenges? Why was this a challenge you thought, wow, okay, this needs to be addressed and what can I do to solve it?
That's a good question. Philippines is an archipelago. It's a group of islands. So there are still a lot of communities that struggle when it comes to accessing energy and healthcare services. So, as someone who also came from a rural community, this is something very close to my heart. And I thought of doing something to, somehow make sure that, the Filipinos in these rural communities have access to quality and affordable healthcare. So it's very important. A lot of Filipinos don't have access to healthcare. 7 out of 10 Filipinos in rural areas. That's how big the number is.
Wow.
And it's very very important. A lot of people suffer because of this problem. So I think it's a really important issue to address.
That's really something eye-opening data there, those metrics that you shared there with the access. So talk to us more about like AKB, what you're doing now, what your solution is actually doing for the challenge, which you've just mentioned.
Mm, right, because since the problem here is that most communities don't have access to electricity, and that affects healthcare in a way that if there's no electricity, then how can they power, medical equipments, or like use these medical equipments, right? So um, with that problem, we innovated a solar powered medical storage box. So that's what we call the Araw-Kalinga Box, or AKB. So it's a solar powered medical storage box that doctors can bring with them anywhere so that they can provide healthcare services. So it's very portable. It's like a backpack, and then it has all the essentials that the doctors need in order to provide healthcare services, like tools. And it also provides over 8 hours of electricity. So if doctors need to plug in an equipment, for example, a diagnostic equipment, right, they can definitely use it. Um, and it's like an all-in-one box, really. So doctors can provide any services that the community needs.
You say it's an all-in-one box.
Yeah, that's true.
How did you
So it's
come up with that?
yeah. Well, we came up with that by well, at first I thought of like, why don't we start something that can provide electricity to clinics, right, in rural areas, and then the all-in-one feature of the box just came in when we tried to interview doctors and and found out the challenges or the needs uh, of different communities, right? So we thought of including a vaccine storage for doctors, a space for equipment and tools, and a solar panel so that doctors can use any medical equipments that they need. So that's how we came up with it. We're very, very grateful for the doctors that um, came in, entered, and helped us innovate the product.
Yeah, this is brilliant. So fascinating. So you said like, so that's just such a cool like your whole process and your journey getting there. So you said there's six of you, and obviously you've got 30 additional volunteers. So how did the six of you meet? And like, yeah, like how did the six of you come together?
Yeah, so we've been operating for more than a year now. We actually just started with four. We just started with four members. So all of them are like my friends. Some are former classmates back in high school. Um, and I just randomly sent them a message like, "Hey, do you want to join? I have this idea. I'm going to submit it for a competition." And luckily, they were all interested in it. That's how we started. We submitted to a competition. Our first competition, we got into the short list, but unfortunately, weren't able to secure the grant. And we actually thought that that was the end of like our journey, but then we submitted it again to another funding organization, and fortunately we got the grant, and that's how we kickstarted the project, built the prototype, and really tested it to one of our community beneficiaries.
So I love that you just got your friends from school with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you bring your own little team of Avengers together. Um, how so how did like you apportion roles in terms of so you've all got friends, you obviously know each other, you kind of know what your interests, strengths, passions, etc. How did you kind of go like, okay, I'll handle this, you handle that? Would like how do you apportion the roles?
Right. So when I messaged my friends to join my team, I considered diversity in skill set. So for example, I am majoring in business, so I focused more on the business aspect of the project, logistics and stuff. And then we also had a teammate who is very, very good in engineering, majoring in engineering as well. So we got him work on the technical aspect of the product. I also have a teammate who's majoring in biology, very interested in public health. So just by looking at what we're majoring in, and our interest and skill set, it's how we, divided the task and conquered, the goals that we needed to achieve.
No, I like that. Really, really cool. No, that's really good. And so like have you worked on any entrepreneurial ventures before? Like Is this your first thing, or have you done stuff before?
Yes. Well, this I would consider this as like my first uh, um let's say official social enterprise. But in the past I've done, just small entrepreneurial projects, but they're not very social, related enterprises. Like well, my mom, aside from being a midwife, was also an entrepreneur. So I
Oh,
think that's how I also got interested in it. Um, so yeah, I would consider this as like my first, official social enterprise. Really, uh, it was a fun time for us starting the project.
yeah, I'm glad I can see you smiling as you're recalling some of the memories and speaking about your mum and your friends. So that's
Oh
really
yeah.
see. So shout out mum as well for the entrepreneur as well as the midwifery. So because that's a it's an amazing essential role needed all around the world. So like being in this kind of first time space for like social entrepreneurs, what's been your biggest challenge that you faced so far? And what have
Oh
you
my
learned?
God. Yeah. So well, I'm a student entrepreneur. So
Okay.
I would consider, you know, time management is really one of the biggest challenges. It's really difficult because I had to like balance everything, like schoolwork and also making sure that our project would stay afloat, and make sure that we're still hitting the goals. So it's really one of my challenges, and I also get that question a lot from fellow young people who are also interested in starting something, but they think that they don't have much time, or they think that social entrepreneurship would require a lot of effort and time. Well, it does, it really does require a lot of effort and time, but when you're really passionate about it, everything just kind of go into place, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that's one of the greatest challenges. But we've been operating for more than a year now, so hopefully we'll still push through and continue and be able to reach more communities.
Yeah, you're doing some incredible work and you've done so much in just for over a year. Like a year's goes so quick and you've really done some really cool things already. So like how would you do you use any like apps or software or anything for your time management? You said, time management's been your thing because you're a student, or how do you do it? Do you use your calendar in your phone? Do you write things down? Like you a lover of lists? How do you manage?
Yeah. Oh my God. I don't want to expose myself, but I'm really bad at time management. I'm the type of person who's very spontaneous. But what I do, like what works for me is just list down all the tasks that I need to do
Yeah.
and make sure that I accomplish them before, the deadline, and I do time blocking.
Okay.
Works really well when it comes to making sure that um I'm attending my classes and making sure that I'm attending the meetings as well for the team. So yeah, those are the two things that works for me. Listing all the tasks I need to do, and time blocking on my
No,
calendar. Yeah.
no, that's good. That's effective. Like that wasn't bad. Some people don't even time blocking's really good. It's fact the list as well, writing things down. I work in a similar way, and time blocking's really good. So, no, that was good. I was just seeing practical like tips, always trying to learn from. So, yeah, no, that was really cool. And like, so, what's your vision? So you said because you got Rice Rural Philippines, right, as
Yeah.
the organization
Mhm.
company,
Right.
and you've got AKB within that, your umbrella. What's your vision for like where you want to take the project, the company itself, in the next 5, 10 years, however far in the future you would like to go?
Right. Well, for AKB, we wanted. It's really our plan to reach more communities. And personally, one of my main goals is to bring this project to my home province, because after all, it's my home province is what really inspired me to start this. But overall, like for the organization, we want to be an organization that caters um, to the needs of the rural communities, and there's a lot of challenges that these rural communities are facing. So in the future, and in the next 5 or 10 years, we're planning to um, start more projects, or innovate more um, products or innovate more things that can be really, really helpful to these rural communities. We're thinking of doing something related to agriculture. We're also thinking of continuing what we're working on when it comes to healthcare. So there's really a lot of things to do when it comes to rural community development, but we're taking it one step at a time.
Oh, that's really cool. What a grand vision. So if you know, you said you've started just over a year. So you've been in this for just over a year now. Um,
Mhm.
if you could go back in time and speak to your younger self, your former self, and give yourself one piece of advice before starting, which piece of advice would you give to yourself?
I think one piece of advice would be just do it.
Love it.
Um, as a as an entrepreneur, it's really valid that sometimes you overthink a lot and you would face a lot of questions or um, confusions, um, uncertainties. Is really a big thing. But you know these things can sometimes cripple you and sometimes freeze you. So instead of doing something, you just end up overthinking and not doing anything. So we've faced a lot of I've faced a lot of challenges when it comes to that. So I think I would advise myself to just do it. And doing something is how you will know if something works or not, right? So just do it, and then you'll learn along the way. And as some of my mentors always advise me, like one of the greatest advice that I got from them um is like, yeah, just do it, and then um fail fast to
Mm,
succeed fast. So that's really great advice that I got from them. Just do something, and then you'll get a lot of learnings along the way.
amazing. I love that. Fail fast, learn fast, fail forward sort of
Yeah.
thing. So how did you said your mentors, you mentioned your mentors. How did you come about finding your mentors?
Right. So we've joined different competitions, innovation competitions, and then that's also how we got connected to these mentors.
Nice.
So, for example, we're working with mentors from the United Nations Development Program, and then from other engagements that we've been in, we got connected also to professionals who can be really, really helpful in the success of our project. So, yeah, shout out to our mentors who've been really, really helpful
Yeah.
um, when it comes to the success of our project.
Yeah, that's amazing, incredible. Definitely shout them out. And so, like, if you mentioned earlier some other young entrepreneurs reach out to you and they want to, start their own projects or they're thinking about it. Like, what's the kind of I would say that obviously because every project's different and then what other people are trying to do, and there's nuance to each
Mhm.
idea. But like,
Sure.
what kind of general advice would you give to like young entrepreneurs who are thinking, "Hey, I want to do something or I want to start something," but they haven't started? In addition to just do it, what kind of questions?
Mm,
Do you know what this would be useful as well?
right. I think look for people that you want to start a project with.
Love that.
Um, it's something that was crucial for me because um, as a student entrepreneur, I have a lot of ideas in mind. But then the thing is, I wouldn't be able to do this alone. So if if someone wants to start something, that person really needs to look for people with complementary skill sets and with the same vision and advocacy, right? So that's been really helpful for me, like looking for people that I can start the project with, who are also interested in my advocacies.
No, that's really great advice. That's really great advice. And so if they're not fortunate enough to have some really great friends from school or family members, how do you think it would be? Where's a good place to start to try and meet someone if they don't have it within their actual immediate circle?
Right. So I think um, you can start really, really small. If you don't have friends that you can start a project with, if you can do it alone, you can do it. But make sure you just start small, right? It could be like just a simple. a Facebook page, you know.
Yeah.
And then you grow from there, and people will see that, hey, you're doing something great. I want to join your team. So that's one thing that that's an advice also that I got from my mentor. Start small, because by starting small, you eliminate unnecessary costs and expenses, right? And that makes you very flexible when it comes to making changes and maneuvers. So yeah, if you don't have friends to start the project with, just start small. Just start with anything that you can do yourself alone, right? With the resources that you have.
No, that's incredible. No, I feel that completely. Where can we find you online? Where can we follow you in the project and team see what you're all do up to?
Yeah, so we do have a Facebook page and Instagram. Our Facebook page and Instagram page name is Rice Rural Philippines, and um, all the the updates about our project are there. We're also posting volunteer opportunities for fellow young people who are interested in joining our team. We actually just recently onboarded new volunteers, so we'll probably post more opportunities in the future. But yeah, that's how. Oh, we also have a LinkedIn, so that's how we can be found online.
Amazing, and well done for having those projects online as well. Sometimes when there's so much to do as founders, you're kind of in the trenches trying to build, create. It's good to have that digital presence so people can find you very easily. And so, yeah, can people, you said about the volunteers, do you need to be based in the Philippines to volunteer with you?
Yeah. Right now we're only focusing on volunteers from the Philippines who want to join us. We're welcoming all volunteers from different parts of the Philippines.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we're focusing on right now.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. We will link all of your links in the description so people can find you and follow you and get in contact,
Mhm.
reach out. But thank you so much, Mark. Again, congratulations to you and the team, and well done, and thanks for being an amazing guest on the Social Shifters podcast.
Right. Thank you so much. It's been amazing talking to you about our project.
If you want to learn more about Social Shifters and how we can help you to impact the social or environmental issues that matter to you most, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on Instagram and Spotify.